again, I'm Brian Lovell. I'm one of the co-PIs with the BEST Center. It's good to see everybody here. This is the 6th year. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this. So that has amounted to 7. This is the 7th BAS-focused workshop that we've had. As Russ mentioned, we started back in Atlanta, but we've been all over the place. We've been at Siemens headquarters. We've been at ALC headquarters. We're here at Metropolitan. We've been out at Laney many times for the annual institute and some BAS components of that. Keeley. We've been to Keeley, whichever one you want to call it, in Memphis, the largest wholesaler for our industry. So we've come a long ways. The first one in Atlanta, the one thing I always remember about the comments from that workshop was from Keith. And we knew it was Keith, and you didn't sign your name to the surveys, but we knew it was you because the whole time he said, "My butt hurts. We're in these seats too long." So since then, we've migrated to more and more hands-on education, and even added that with Bob Clark at the annual institute, and that was received to strong response. So there you go. So we want to continue on that thread in this workshop, and we want to lean on you more than ever before in your expertise, because the expertise of this group is clearly elevated. We're going to lean on you for that. We're going to ask you to do more in this workshop than you've done in any other workshops. We're not going to give you all the answers. We're going to give you pieces and parts. We're going to give you a sequence of operation, which you can help us with also. You can decide where you want to land points. You can decide how you want to wire things up to an extent, as long as there's no shorts and we don't cause any damage, right? But we'd like you to develop a little diagram of your work along the way. We'd like you to follow the sequence of operation that we lay out later today. And at the end of the day, we should have 26, 25, 26 replications of the same sequence, maybe with different points landed, different objects landed in different places, but also sharing on a network that you develop, patch cables that you build. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of hands-on in this workshop. Some of you in here I know have no experience in this, but we would like you to pair up with others that do have experience, because there's no substitute for what you said in the back about doing. The difference between teaching and doing is a big difference. And we feel like we need to do more on the doing side as educators, and it will help you hopefully when you go back to your institution. So I know that's kind of small, but fortunately you have some side monitors so you can follow along here and jump in at any point, Robert, if I miss anything here. But so we're right about here, I guess. The overview of the BEST Center. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on those monitors.
Okay. Yeah, we're right about here. You've done the safety discussion already, I assume.
We haven't done safety.
Okay, we'll do that in just a minute. And then Robert will take you on a tour of the beautiful facilities. I saw this building while it was being finished, and I'm just very impressed with the way it's laid out, the way that a lot of the piping systems are exposed in the hallways. When you walk through the laboratories, you'll see those are also very well thought out. Systems right there in the laboratory environment, which we find as being best practices and which we're trying to disseminate also to many of you in the room right now. And that's the model that we follow at GPTC in Atlanta as well. We'll cover some basics of networking because that seems to continue to be an issue of expertise in our collective of instructors around the country. I mean, the networking thing, I think, is something we really need to elevate our skills as a group on. Robert can certainly be a go-to person for that with his extensive background in IT. There are a number of resources out there. I mean, there's really no reason that you can't get that information very quickly. Go to the website. That's where IT guys get their information to stay up to speed anyways. This is where your students will be going, your BAS students, to stay up to speed on current trends in BAS. So we might as well start to leverage those resources and start employing them in our classrooms. So we'll go over that a little bit. That will be pretty much the main butts and seats kind of experience you'll have. The rest of it will be mostly in the laboratory actually doing, okay? So that will be up to lunch and maybe just a little bit after lunch today. Then we'll be going through a networking practical exercise, which will amount to constructing patch cables. Okay, we'll be following the 568B standard. You'll be doing standard cables, no crossover cables, just standard cables, and we'll be establishing a network over in the laboratory. Okay, and then we'll give each one of those controllers a separate IP address so that you'll all be on the same network, and we'll start to get into the EasyIO programming and environment, et cetera, et cetera. We'll introduce to you the sequence of operation that we'd like you to meet. Okay, we'll introduce to you the products that we'll be using, the actuators, the wiring, the controllers, et cetera, et cetera. Tomorrow, and then we'll have dinner this evening after we do all that introduction. Tomorrow, we'll do a quick recap of what we've done today. We'll continue with the EasyIO environment, as Robert is a national trainer for EasyIO, so you've got the best instructor for that right here. Then we'll jump into a basic introduction to programming the EasyIO controllers to sequences of operation. We'll introduce to you the specifics that we'd like to see in the wiring and the cabling, and then we'll just do it. We'll actually program it, we'll set it up, we'll test it, commission it. Probably not a full commissioning, just a point-to-point, probably. Functional performance test. And what we'd like to see at the end of the day is that we're sharing a couple global objects and that all of your sequences meet what we've laid out, and we'll be able to indicate that based on your actuators. Each one of you will have an actuator. When we set a different temperature in that thermistor that we're going to be using as a global object, we should see all your actuators move in unison to the same position. And we'll know that you've set up your PID loop correctly. We'll know that you're pulling that information down through the network. You'll get a chance for the first time to wire up an analog output to an actuator, to a modulating actuator. I know we've done floating point control in the past. I don't remember us ever doing that before as a group. So I know there'll be problems along the way, hopefully no smoke, but we'll help you. When I'm instructing, Robert will be floating. When he's instructing, I'll be floating. We have a lot of expertise in the room, so we'll get through this. One other thing that we'd like to see along the way is that you document your work and document issues that, as a learner, you come up against. Hey, I didn't understand. I thought I understood this, but I didn't really understand that. And we'd like that to be part also of what you report back to the group and what you take home with you when you go back to your institutions as far as